okay, is far beyond our expectation.
It's the safest way of owning a house.
My mouth is full of appreciation to Federal Mortgage Bank.
The Cooperative Housing Development Loan of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is making waves. In the past couple of weeks, we have brought you stories of different cooperatives acquiring this loan and constructing houses for their members. In this episode, we bring you details of another cooperative society that is embarked on a project to develop 60 housing units for its members. What's their story? Find out in the course of the program. Hello, I am Kauthar Anumba Halil, and I warmly welcome you to yet another episode of Everyone Deserves a Home. I'll be back after this timeout to walk you through the rest of the program. Please stay tuned.
To improve transparency and accountability in managing the NHF funds, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has introduced *219#. *219# is a new way to know the status of your NHF contribution from anywhere. To use this service, dial *219#. Select 1 to update your contact detail. Press 2 to check your contribution status in any month up to the last 5 years. You can also use our mortgage calculator and bulletin board by selecting options 5 and 6 respectively. You can access other services by using direct shortcodes like *219*3# to retrieve your NHF number, *219*4*1# to check your last 5 transactions, and *219*4*2# to check your statement of account. No internet connection required, and it is available on all networks. *219#. Simpler, smarter, faster. Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. Everyone deserves a home.
Welcome back. We kick off the program from the Federal Mortgage Bank and the housing sector in general. In the lineup, FMBN marks World Habitat Day 2022, and Redan and Mban commend PENCOM on guideline for residential mortgage. Details coming up shortly. Keep watching.
As you continue to expand, you add more and more rooms so that eventually it becomes...
The Federal Ministry of Works and Housing joined the rest of the world to celebrate the 2022 World Habitat Day and the World Cities Day on Thursday, 20th October 2022. This year's event had a theme: Mind the Gap, Leave No One and Place Behind. Minister for Works and Housing Babatunde Raji Fashola, while giving a keynote address, stated that agencies under the ministry such as the FMBN and FHA are all making efforts within their capacities to not only make houses available but also affordable in order to address the challenges of housing.
When I got the theme for this year's urban agenda, Mind the Gap, Leave No One Behind and Leave No Place Behind, I thought that there were similarities. And it is in that context that I want to share with you what we have done, because it is good to talk, but it is also important to show what you are doing in your small space. It is the little things that we do at the local place, in our workplace, in government, out of government, that aggregates to the totality of the results that we can show. So we can think globally, but what are we doing at home? And it is those things that we have been doing at home that I seek to discuss at this meeting, and to show how they bring about inclusion, to show how they bring about opportunities, to show how they bring about dignity for our people.
In his welcome address, Permanent Secretary, Works and Housing, Bashir Nura Al-Kali, was represented by Director, Highways Development, Engineer Ibi Turner, highlighted the reason for the gathering. He said that tackling urban poverty and inequality have become an urgent global priority.
We have come today to hold the World Habitat Day, which is one of the fulcrum events of Urban October, which begins with the World Habitat Day on the first Monday of October and ends with World Cities Day on the 31st of October. The theme of the 2022 World Habitat Day, as stated earlier, is intended to draw attention to growing inequalities and vulnerabilities that have been exacerbated by the triple C crisis, namely COVID-19, climate change, and conflict. The pandemic and recent conflicts have reversed years of progress made in the fight against poverty, resulting in the emergence of newly poor people.
Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Maduhama, who also spoke, noted the need for inclusiveness in tackling housing challenges. He gave a reassurance of the bank's role in deepening the mortgage sector for better housing and environment for Nigerians.
Tackling housing and environmental challenges require inclusiveness and the recognition of local peculiarities while accommodating best global practices and technologies. The biggest challenge facing us locally has been that of the massive housing deficit, access to decent accommodation, and access to affordable housing finance in our country. We at Federal Mortgage Bank will continue to play our part by deepening the mortgage sector and improving the finance available for all stakeholders to be able to participate effectively in housing delivery for Nigerians and to improve the life of Nigerians.
Speaking on behalf of the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, National Program Officer, UN Habitat, Mr. Paul Okunola, said that the theme for the World Habitat Day is the core pledge for the 2013 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals.
We therefore need more urgent action and greater investment to provide affordable housing to all, alongside access to electricity, water, sanitation, transportation, and other basic services. To leave no one behind is actually the core pledge of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which we all know as the SDGs. This means making cities work for women and children and closing all existing gaps, that is, between the haves and the have-nots.
Other speakers who presented goodwill addresses at the event said the commemoration of the World Habitat Day serves as a reminder of the challenges humans face in their settlements while hoping for sustainable solutions in improving urban developments.
We therefore need, collectively and individually, to continue to find ways of improving on our urban development and physical planning roadmaps with a view to having safe environment and habitat for all.
We must go beyond criticism to offer solutions that are at once imaginative, practical, and realistic. In furtherance of this, we would call on people-centered policies to be faithfully implemented without partisan consideration.
Advisory committee is hereby inaugurated.
Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Fashola inaugurated an 11-man National Advisory Committee on Habitat with the Permanent Secretary, Works and Housing, Bashir Nura Al-Kali, as the chairman. The Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, REDAN, and the Mortgage Bankers Association of Nigeria, MBAN, have commended the federal government on the approval of guidelines for the National Pension Commission, PENCOM, allowing retirement savings account holders to access 25% of their savings for residential mortgage. President, Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, Aliyu Wammaku, said that the new development will enable civil servants who are in dire need of equity contributions to key into housing projects. President, Mortgage Bankers Association of Nigeria, Ibilate Mark Yoroki, commended the government for the approval, which he says will solve more than just the problem of housing, but will also give the economy a boost as many mortgage-related sectors like construction and banking will receive more vigor.
Get trained as a mortgage expert, smart property development industry player. Get that full option capacity training center for your individual or organizational needs at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria FMBN Training Center. Courses are both technical and managerial in mortgage operations, finance, human resources, and ICT, all facilitated by both internal and external mortgage and property industry experts.
We borrow the money from the bank. Every month we're servicing it.
All FMBN courses are approved by the Center for Management Development. Meanwhile, the FMBN Training Center offers 8 training facilities for rentals, 3 seminar rooms of 30 sitting capacities, 2 syndicate rooms of 10 and 12 sitting capacities, 2 conference halls of 108 and 78 sitting capacities, an ICT lab of 38 seats, and a 24/7 power supply. Visit the FMBN Center at number J4 Ali Akilu Road, Kaduna. Email training.school@fmbn.gov.ng or call 0901 280 3484.
Thanks for staying with us. Staff of University of Jos are beneficiaries of the National Housing Fund scheme through the Cooperative Housing Development Loan. This novel product of the bank is one among many others that is increasing opportunities for low-income earning Nigerians to become homeowners, thereby reducing the housing deficit in the country. Let's see details of another project under this product. I'll be right back.
Located in Jos South Local Government is a housing project the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is funding for the University of Jos Multipurpose Cooperative Society. The project is a 60-unit housing project of 3-bedroom fully detached bungalows. Crafts and Chisel Nigeria Limited is developing this project.
To develop a craft and chisel, it's collaborating with Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria in providing houses, especially for University of Jos teachers and every other person who is interested in the project.
497 million was approved for the project, and as is customary with FMBN funded projects, the bank disburses these funds in tranches to enable the developer work according to the standard of the bank while also ensuring the adequate use of these funds. Currently, 137 million naira has been disbursed. This is only the first tranche of the total costs, and about 20 units are at various levels of completion. On a daily basis, many people are employed through this project site, both directly and indirectly.
On the site, it's funny enough, we have lots of women working on the site, and that was amazing to me, because my normal idea of a site is to get still lots of men on it, but when we got there we saw a lot of women willing to work, and that has created a lot of employment opportunities. You will see mother and children all coming to work.
The bank carries out a weekly routine check on this site, like in all other sites the bank funds. The developer also does its best in ensuring that quality materials are used and specifications as provided in the building plan are specifically followed.
On our part as developers, we ensure whatever material we're getting are materials that are of standard, that could stand the test of time regardless of the weather, because we all know just weather is not so stable. Sometimes it's cold, sometimes also we make sure we get materials that could fit in and of standard.
It is part of our duty as the site engineer and the loan officer to run a weekly checkup on them to see if the work is in progress and the quality assurance.
Basic infrastructure for the project include 2 500 kVA generators, 2 industrial boreholes, and access roads, and all of which will be made available when the estate is completed.
At the completion of the estates, we shall be providing them with 2 industrial boreholes, internal roads, street lights, and water. Good drainage system.
At the completion of this project, we should have basic amenities, social amenities like good water, internal road networks, and maybe street lights and what have you.
What is the name of my grandson?
Suleiman.
That's a good name. May the Almighty preserve him.
Amen.
Now that your family is growing, this is the time for you to start thinking of a house of your own.
Abba, the thought of this has always been on my mind. To build a house now, you need a lot of money, and that is what is holding me back.
Sonny, what you need is a mortgage. NHF mortgage loan. With NHF mortgage loan, you own a house upfront and pay gradually over a long period of time.
Abba, I will go to the FMBN office right away.
Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
Welcome back. And if you just tuned in, the program is Everyone Deserves a Home. It's now time to share the story of another beneficiary of the National Housing Fund scheme. Mrs. Legdong tells us her story. Let's hear her.
I can assure all Nigerians that if you apply, once it is available, you will get.
Definitely the scheme is real.
It's a big testimony to stop paying rent.
Excellent. Seriously excellent.
It works and is real.
Full-fledged Estate Kuje is another one of the FMBN funded projects that has provided shelter to many Nigerians. Mrs. Hadiza Lekdong is one of the beneficiaries of the National Housing Fund in Kuje Area Council of the FCT.
I got the information from a colleague in the office, and she told me about it, that I should find out that she has gotten hers. So let me make a trial. I decided to go to the NHF office to find out about it, and they told me the procedure, how to go about it. I have to pay the equity. Once you get the equity, you'll be able to acquire the house. So I took a step, and we were able to meet up with the equity.
After she applied for the house, it only took Mrs. Hadiza 3 months to get an allocation for her 3-bedroom bungalow. She attests to the reality of the NHF scheme.
The scheme is real. Because as I earlier told you, it took me like 3 months thereabouts to be able to acquire it. And I would like to advise my fellow Nigerians out there to enroll into NHF, and it is real.
She says the quality of work done on her house was very good, and that was her attraction to the house.
The environment was cool, and we found out that the finishing touches of the house was also good. The roofing also caught our attraction. That was one of the things that made us come for the house.
For the happy mother of 3, being a homeowner is an exciting experience. Having a cordial relationship with her neighbors makes living in the estate a pleasant experience.
It's exciting. No landlord issues, no landlord bothering you every month. Your rent is due, and you waking up every day finding yourself in your own apartment is a cool thing.
Our question for the week is, what documents do I need to present to access the home renovation loan of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria?
The requirement is that any house you want to renovate, you should have certified bill of quantities for the work you want to do on the renovation, and then that you are a contributor to the National Housing Fund and that your contribution is up to date. On home renovation loan, basically these are the requirements, and the fact that your income will be able to accommodate the repayment within the specified period, maximum of which is 5 years. So if you apply for a loan on home renovation loan, maybe you applied for the maximum which is 1 million, and the office discover that you cannot afford the 1 million for the period, they will scale it down to an amount that your affordability will accommodate.
More and more cooperatives are seizing the opportunity to build homes for their members through the products created by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. If you belong to a cooperative and require more information on how to go about it, do log on to www.fmbn.gov.ng or visit any FMBN branch office nearest to you. Many thanks for staying with us through this edition of the program. See you next week.